So 30 some years ago, I left China for United States to pursue my master's degree in chemical engineering. My first stop, University of Idaho in Moscow, Idaho. And then I moved to Spokane, Washington because I got a job there, 28 years. And then I moved to Seattle. So 30 some years ago when I first got here, I've never seen homeless people or beggars on the street. At the same time, I went back to China to visit almost every year in the early 90s. I saw a lot of homeless people. Oftentimes are disabled or children sitting on the street and begging for money or food. It was normal back then. Fast forward 20 years, 30 years later. Now when I went back to China to visit, I'm also trying to do it every year. So when I see the high rises, skyscraper, bullet train, and beautiful shopping malls almost in every city. I'm talking about the first tier, second tier, even third tier cities. It's all the same. Clean street and just fantastic infrastructure. I don't see homeless people anymore. And nobody's stealing shit. I remember catching myself thinking, these high-rise skyscraper building, beautiful, everything, should be built in New York City or Chicago or Seattle. That's where they belong. But then after visit, I came back to United States, and the scene, it just feels striking. Because pretty soon, you start to see homeless tent, and people are in an intersection. Homeless people are begging for something. It just, it feels like American and China switched the position. The fortune had flipped. I feel sad, because I love this country, America. I also love China, so I'm happy for China's rise. Chinese government literally lifted 500 million people out of poverty. They created the largest middle class in China. So it is real. China's rising. I'm not sure is 21st century is going to be China's century, but United States is declining is also real. I feel sad, but I wanted to dig out the reason. Something I hate to say it, but I have to break the news for you. Even the New York City, the Seattle, it feels like third tier city of China. Okay, Washington, D.C. is pretty nice. That's probably first tier city like capital city of Beijing. Chicago, probably second tier. It's sad I even say that, but that is the truth. I live in Seattle now. I feel like that's third tier city compared to all the Chinese cities. So stay tuned.
Running, running, like, light me up. asking what rural China looks like. Right now I am in Yangshuo, China, which is near Guilin. Really beautiful scenery town. And I'm gonna go for a little street walk down the street here. This is sort of like a main downtown touristy area, but this region is characterized by these mountains here, which are absolutely gorgeous. You have to come and check out Guilin. A lot of restaurants, a lot of street vendors, great food, souvenir places, and like right in the middle of the mountain. All sorts of different unique snacks, sweets, ice creams, a couple of different hotels right on the mountains. One of the things you'll notice when you're a foreigner and you go to far out parts of China is that there's just really not that many foreigners, so a lot of people just kind of stare at you. Whole town in the shadow of the mountains. Gonna buy some potato, spicy Chinese French fry. Boulevard, guitar music playing, whatever that is. Cute. Rock and roll cafe and pizza. Still a more developed part of a rural area, but interesting to see how it compares.
Hello guys, today I'm gonna show you the center of my city.
While you watch my city view, allow me to share some information about today's China and a little bit of history of China. Being proud is never a compliment in Chinese culture. We advocate confidence, not proud. Proud means too much. Our Chinese culture is about balance, not left, not right, but the middle. This year is 2025. Before 1860, China was the richest country on earth. All the modern technology is created based on ancient Chinese technology. American politicians tend to smear China by accusing it of stealing their technologies. Capitalists steal the scientific and technological achievements of others through patent ownership, which is how the USA got so many ownerships of modern technology. Such as in the past, there was Edison, and today there is Musk. China has many scientific and technological achievements that are ahead of the world. No one can steal something that others don't possess. Today's United States is founded on the massacre of Native Americans and the theft of their lands. Native Americans gave food and shelter to those criminals who were exiled from Europe to their lands. However, in return, what the Native Americans got was genocide. Stealing and plundering are ingrained in their genes. In the course of history, many European countries have carried out frantic acts of aggression and plunder on a global scale by virtue of their powerful warships and guns. They wantonly massacred the indigenous people and seized their lands, transporting vast amounts of wealth such as gold, silver, and spices from regions in Asia, Africa, and Latin America back to their home countries. Through the heinous slave trade and unequal trade, they extracted huge profits and completed the bloody primitive accumulation of capital. It was precisely these predatory and exploitative acts that injected strong impetus into their industrialization and economic development. As a result, over the past 100 or 200 years, Europe has shown a development trend far surpassing that of other regions in terms of economy, science and technology, military affairs, etc. However, this seemingly glorious development achievement is actually built upon the blood, tears, and sufferings of the people in countless invaded regions. Every accusation propagated by the Western media is actually a confession of their own misdeeds. Every single accusation is a confession. Western media have been promoting and instilling in people all over the world a belief over the past 100 or 200 years. That is, the reason why developed countries in Europe, America, and other regions are more developed is due to capitalism and the democratic system. However, today's China has proven that capitalism and the democratic system are by no means the reasons why European and American countries are ahead of other countries. Since the British Empire, driven by interest groups and the strong need for capital expansion, launched the Opium War against China, imperialist countries in Europe, such as the United Kingdom, France, Portugal, the Netherlands, as well as the Japanese Empire in Asia, have carried out aggression and plunder against China for more than 100 years, causing the flames of war to rage across this vast land of China. The United Kingdom, with its powerful warships and cannons, forced open China's door. Through a series of unequal treaties like the Treaty of Nanjing, it not only occupied Hong Kong Island, extorted huge indemnities, but also forcibly opened trading ports and imposed treaty tariffs, severely undermining China's territorial sovereignty, economic sovereignty, and judicial sovereignty, setting a bad example of aggression for other powers. France followed suit, participating in the Second Opium War. Together with countries like the United Kingdom, they burned the old summer palace and plundered a great deal of precious cultural relics and wealth. Later, through various unequal treaties, France obtained numerous privileges in China. As early as the Ming and Qing dynasties, Portugal had gradually occupied Macau and carried out colonial rule. The Netherlands had also coveted China's territory and attempted to lay hands on places like Taiwan. Although Spain did not directly launch large-scale aggression against China, it colluded with other powers within the global colonial system and supported the aggression against China from the side. After the Meiji Restoration, Japan embarked on the path of militarism. It launched the Sino-Japanese War of 1894 to 1895 and forced China to sign the Treaty of Shimonoseki, occupying Taiwan and the Penghu Islands, and extorting a huge indemnity of 230 million taels of silver, which greatly hindered China's modernization process. After the September 18th incident in 1931, Japan launched an all-out war of aggression against China. It burned, killed, and looted on Chinese soil and committed a series of inhumane atrocities such as the Nanjing Massacre, bringing unprecedented disasters to the Chinese people. The aggressive acts of these imperialist countries included seizing leased territories and demarcating spheres of influence, incorporating China's economy into their capitalist world economic system and carrying out brutal economic exploitation. They controlled key areas such as China's customs and railways. They also wantonly destroyed China's cultural heritage, plundered precious ancient books and artworks, and attempted to destroy the self-confidence and cohesion of the Chinese nation at the spiritual level. All of this reduced China to a semi-colonial and semi-feudal society, with the loss of national sovereignty, displacement of the people, heavy damage to the social economy, and humiliation of Chinese civilization. However, it was precisely this humiliating history that inspired the awakening and resistance of all Chinese people. Countless people with lofty ideals went forward one after another and made unremitting efforts for national independence and national prosperity. Finally, under the leadership of the Communist Party of China, the Chinese people went through arduous struggles, drove out the invaders, achieved national independence and people's liberation, and embarked on a new journey of the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. You are wondering why the Harvard University's public opinion polls on China for 10 consecutive years have shown that more than 95% of the Chinese people support the Communist Party of China. This is exactly the reason why we Chinese people support our Communist Party of China. Under the leadership of the Communist Party of China, the Chinese people have achieved a great leap from the once war-torn and extremely poor situation to the current prosperity and national strength in just over 70 years. Today, China has become a pivotal force on the world stage, achieving remarkable accomplishments in numerous fields such as the economy, science and technology, and culture. It is worth emphasizing that, unlike some countries in history that achieved development through foreign aggression and colonial plunder, China has always adhered to the path of peaceful development. It has never launched a war of aggression against other countries. Instead, China upholds the concept of win-win cooperation, works hand-in-hand with countries around the world for common development, and contributes China's wisdom and strength to global peace and development. We don't feel prideful, but we are absolutely confident.
Thank you for watching till the end. After hanging out with my friend in the center of my city, I'm taking the bus going back home. Bye.